What does it mean to live more with less? I'm Katie Wells, and welcome to the Maximized Minimalist Podcast. If you found yourself caught up in the hamster wheel of modern-day motherhood and want to rewrite the script, congratulations, you're in the right place. I'm here to be your guide and help you take back your motherhood and achieve a simpler, more joy-filled life. Cheers to being a maximized minimalist. Enjoy the show.
Hey friend, happy October. I think we're in a really sweet spot right now when it comes to time. I think for a lot of us, things feel manageable. If you're anything like me, you're back into the groove, right? The back to school routines have settled in. I'm enjoying a slightly slower pace of fall, but it got me thinking that suddenly, before we know it, we're going to be bombarded with to-do lists, gift-giving pressures, holiday events, decorations, hosting, like all of the things related to the holiday season. And while those things can be incredibly life-giving, fulfilling, exciting, create joy, and just like, oh, that warm, fuzzy feeling in our life and in our being, it can also, for a lot of us, have this whole potential to create a lot of clutter, physical and mental clutter. So today's episode, I really wanted to dive into some ways to get ahead of that overwhelm and hopefully for a lot of us, reduce that overwhelm. Because time and time again, I hear from women in this community who come to me right after the holidays and are scratching their heads to like what happened? Like the last 2 months was like this life-sucking vortex. And again, there were some great things for them that happened during the holidays. They hung out with family, but their house is a disaster. Their mind is a disaster. It makes it getting started in January. And gosh, it just sets them back for months and months and months. And I hate to see that. So we're going to help you prepare your mind for this upcoming holiday season to avoid a lot of these common clutter traps that sneak up on us. They're not always so obvious. And we'll share some different mindset shifts and strategies to get you feeling calm and in control as we head into, a traditionally busy time of year. The problem is when we don't prepare ourselves for this transition from kind of fall to the holiday winter season, we get frazzled and overwhelmed. And again, I want to hone in on, yes, it's physical clutter, but I think for a lot of us, it's more mental clutter. And we need to avoid that cycle. So the holidays, let's talk about one of the first mental clutter pieces of the puzzle, right? And that is the holidays tend to come with so many expectations. Perhaps you feel the pressure to have the perfectly styled, perfectly decorated home, the perfect gifts for your kids, for your partner, for your friends, for your colleagues, to host the perfect dinner with the perfect settings. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling stressed just talking about it, letting alone like trying to execute on something like this. You get it, right? Everything has to be just right. And where do these expectations come from? Well, a whole lot of places. I would say culture, societal norms, yourself, and others thinking that if you don't go all out, we're somehow failing. So let's declutter that belief, right? Declutter the belief, then you can declutter the thing. But here's the reality. Meeting all those expectations leads to one word in the dictionary that I do not like because I've been there. Burnout. So much burnout happens in the holiday season. We need to talk about this. And last episode, I joked that us as simplifiers, we're heading into like our Super Bowl season. Like now is the time we need to start flexing our simplifier muscle on a much broader scale because we are about to be bombarded with so many messages that are counterintuitive to being a simplifier, right? The more pressure we put on ourselves from these expectations, the more decisions you have to make. And the more decisions you have to make, the more that leads to decision fatigue. You know that feeling when the smallest choice feels exhausting because your mind is already full? Like that's what happens when mental clutter takes over. So here's a mindset shift I want you to start thinking about now before the holidays hit full force. It's not about having the perfect holiday season. There, I said it. It's about having a season that's meaningful and enjoyable for you. And this isn't like I'm not saying like egocentric, it's all about me, or it's all about you. Obviously, a lot of us here, we have families, we have partners, we have extended families. Of course, you have to take that into consideration. But you can ask yourself, what do me and my family love and really value about the holidays? Is it the people you spend it with? Is it the time spent relaxing? I can't tell you how many women come to me, again, December 26th, always the day after, sometimes the day of Christmas, and go, I didn't even get to relax during my holiday season. I went from event to event to event. I was constantly doing something to please and, reach these expectations, and I'm burned out. And now I have a house full of clutter and I have to, it's hard. I get it. So going back to your core values, those have to be considered when you head into the holiday season. This is your North Star. Your core values are what keep you heading on the right track and path through a season when we're being bombarded with messages that try to take you off course. Buy this, do this, have this expectation, please this person, drop your boundaries, don't care about yourself. It's all about your family. It's all about your kids. Holidays only happen once. Bye, bye, bye. What do I love about the holiday season? And even maybe perhaps a better question to ask yourself right now is, what is one of my favorite memories from the holidays as a kid? I can say without a doubt, and it brings tears to my eyes, it's baking cookies. It's so simple. And here's the thing, I baked a lot of cookies with my grandma. She didn't care about everything being perfect. It was about the experience and the outcome of eating delicious cookies, right? Like, it's the simplicity that we love. It's the traditions. It's something that we look forward to time and time again, year in, year out. That's what's special. It's about the memories those kick up. Gosh, just that one. I literally have a tear on my cheek, a happy tear. Whatever it is, let that be your focus. And perhaps you declutter some of the rest, some of the events, some of the pressure, some of the expectations. Give yourself permission to let go of things that don't align with those values. It's okay to say no. Maybe there's traditions that you've kept for the sake of keeping them, but really when you think about it, they're burning you out. They're not that fulfilling for you and your family, and they're adding stress. Then declutter them. You don't have to do it all. Now I want to talk about this physical clutter trap. Oh, man, whether it's new decorations, gifts for every relative, whatever it is, stocking stuffers. Boy, you know what? Can we just talk about stocking stuffers for a minute? I really have come to the point where I despise stocking stuffers. It's like tends to be little knickknacks and things that are kind of like thrown out or broken within 24 hours. I don't know about you. I feel like this is a tradition that's become less meaningful for me. So I might rethink stocking stuffers this year. I mean, I know there's things like I've done like bath bombs, consumables, gift cards and stockings, but does anyone else get annoyed with those? Like, I'm great at giving like a main gift. So there we go. I just work through something in my own head, not having to fill a stocking just to fill a stocking because it's a tradition. Or perhaps I just dig a little bit deeper and find some more intentional gifts that I can put in there that feel exciting and make me excited about the tradition. I love it. I love when I can talk this stuff out loud. Maybe one of you will benefit from it. That's fine. Okay. And speaking to the physical clutter trap, businesses know exactly what they're doing this time of year. Every ad, every sale, every limited time offer. It's designed to make us feel like we need to buy to have a perfect holiday experience. All right. Be intentional with what you bring into your home this holiday season. All the time, but especially this holiday season. And heck, even if you normally buy 8 candles at Target, if you only buy 4 this year, that is a win. Okay, that's still a win. Your trajectory is heading in the right direction. This isn't about going from one extreme to the other and offering yourself no grace or permission. 1% better every day. All right, go with it. And start by setting some boundaries now. What is important to you? Again, core values are your North Star, your GPS that help you navigate through these decisions and through these ads and messages being sent your way every second of the day. For example, when it comes to gifts, maybe think about giving experiences, consumables, time-saving gifts rather than things, or focus on gifts that can add value without adding clutter. I think there's this interesting concept about gifts giving. It's like kind of this unknown rule, I guess you could call it, is like, well, if my husband really knows me well, he shouldn't have to ask me what I want. He should just know. And then I feel like we're always left disappointed because it's like, oh, that's what you got me. So I say this to say, maybe, just maybe, we should ask the loved one, the bestie, the colleague, the boss, the partner, the child, what would be a meaningful gift that you would love this year? because you might be surprised at what they'd say. I can tell you right now, if my husband asked me that, I would say a date night. Do we do date nights throughout the year? Yeah, not enough. So I would love to do a date night. That's it. So he can hire a babysitter and like that could be my holiday gift. Like I'm good with that. That would be more meaningful than if he bought me, I don't know, flowers. But that's the season I'm in right now. I want that quality time. That's my love language. Okay. Ask. What a concept, right? You might be surprised. And when it comes to gifts, right, on that note, creating a gift giving plan is really helpful. Now is the time. If you have a little more time, don't wait until the last minute and buy things out of panic or, randomly just add things to an Amazon wish list for, your extended family to buy stuff for your kids because you're like, I don't know what my kid wants. And just we've all been there, right? And then you end up with a house full of toys that never get played with. So take the time now. Take 10 minutes this weekend asking your loved ones, thoughtfully considering what would be meaningful to you this holiday season from a gift perspective. Does it align with my values? Does it align with my goals? Does it align with simplifying my life? Maybe it's handmade gifts. Maybe it's experiences, consumables, a gift exchange with 1 or 2 family members instead of 15. And say no when you need to. This applies to both physical items, holiday commitments, like everything in between. You don't need to say yes to every party, event, or obligation. Give yourself permission to prioritize rest and these meaningful experiences. Prioritize rest. And finally, if you're looking to get ahead of things, now's a perfect time to do a little pre-holiday declutter, I should say. I'm not talking about like, hey, let's use up your entire weekend doing a full declutter session, because I know we're not in the mood for that. Let's be real. But think about the areas that tend to get crowded during the holidays, like your kitchen or your entryway, and clear out some of these spaces now means you're going to have more room when things get busy later. And even more important, it's going to help you feel more in control. And that is extremely, extremely powerful, especially when I get it. Some things in the holiday season aren't in our control. Does cause us stress, all these things. So focusing in on what is in our control, is in our space. When our spaces are clutter-free, it's like our minds can just take that deep breath, even if it is slightly in anticipation of the holiday season. Spend a few moments today thinking about what matters most to you this holiday season. I can't stress that enough. Let's go ahead. Let's get out of the overwhelm, create space for what really counts. Friend, I'm thinking of you. I'm so dang proud of you. I really am. And I will see you next week. Ready, set, simplify. Bye.